Hey y'all, my name is Taylor. If you haven't met me in real life, I put out new videos every single Monday and Friday, and I would really appreciate it if you went ahead and clicked that subscribe button so you can follow along on my journey. So if you've known me in the past almost 6 years, you would know that I have a seizure disorder. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my very first seizure and what that experience was like. I hope that this video can be helpful to parents who have children who are having seizures, to individuals who have just had their first seizure and that they're very scared about it, or to anyone who has a family member who just wants to know more about that experience and what it's like from someone who has experienced it. So a little bit of background: I'm 23 years old right now. I'll be 24 in 2 months, and I had my first seizure at 18 years old the summer before leaving for college. So all throughout high school and much of college, I kept 2 children every single summer while their mom went to work, and that was always my summer job. This summer was no different. I kept these children. Their mom was very flexible and comfortable with me and allowed me to do my own errands when I had them with me. I had an appointment scheduled to get 2 skin tags removed. You don't know, a skin tag is just like a little piece of skin that kind of comes out and hangs, and I wanted them removed before going to college. My mom met me at the doctor's office, and while I went back for this simple procedure, she stayed with the children. So if you're getting a skin tag removed, all they do is give you a little shot of some numbing cream, and then they snip it, and then they might burn it depending on how much bleeding is there, but you don't feel anything other than that little shot. It's a super easy thing, in and out really quickly. My mom was in the waiting room with the 2 children I babysat while I got this done. I had been seeing this doctor. I was comfortable with her, had my doctor and the nurse in there, and we did 1 skin tag. Everything was fine. I felt okay. We were chatting about me going to college. We snipped the 2nd skin tag. Everything was fine, and then all of a sudden my vision tunneled in so quickly and everything went black. Sound started to become distorted, and then I was out. The next thing I knew, there was a rush of sound coming to my ears, and I tried to open my eyes to see what was going on because none of the noises were making sense. And as I opened my eyes, my vision was blurred and I couldn't see what was going on. I was so startled because the doctor was standing there and I did not recognize her, even though just a few moments before I did know who she was. When I came to, I remember being like slick with sweat. I felt very lightheaded. I had a slight headache, and my body was just very weak and sore. Immediately coming through, I had these symptoms, and the doctor began to kind of tell me what was going on. The nurse at that point had went out to the office and asked my mom, "Does your daughter have seizures?" To which, of course, my mom kind of panicked because I did not have seizures, and so they came rushing in. And at that point, I had been for a few seconds, so I was able to start to put the pieces together of where I was, who everyone was, and when my mom came in, I was able to calm down a little bit more because of her familiarity. Now, the 2 children I was babysitting looked like scared to death. They didn't really know what was going on, but they knew that something serious was happening. So the doctors continued to fan me. They got me some water. The doctor was speaking to my mother. I was kind of listening, half not. It was pretty chaotic at that moment, and we knew that we needed to get a neurology consult. It was very lucky that I was in the doctor's office because she vouched for me throughout this whole process. She saw it, she was able to see what was going on, and if you're gonna have your first seizure, what better place than to be laying down in the doctor's bed and have a doctor and a nurse right there. I mean, that was just heaven if I've ever seen it. I don't really remember the whole time process between the seizure versus when we left, but we did kind of hang around for a second as I got my bearings back to me. I decided not to go to the hospital that day because I had those children with me. I was starting to feel better, and because of the doctor's referral that she had seen the seizure, we could get an appointment very quickly to go ahead and get some testing done. So we didn't go to the hospital that day, which I know a lot of people do immediately go to the hospital. We did not. situation was a little different because I had it in the doctor's office. She put in the referral and we got a move on things very quickly. So the doctor was very adamant that I did not drive home for obvious reasons, and we didn't know if this was a one-time isolated event, if it was something that was going to occur again or not. She gave us some instructions on things that we could do. So we went home and I immediately went to sleep. My mom watched those children and we ended up meeting up with their mom later that afternoon. I can't remember if I went to work the rest of that week or not, but I did not drive. I was dropped off and picked up again like I was 12, but that was okay. So that point of my seizure journey was just very scary and unsure and filled with lots of uncertainty and doubt. We didn't know what to do. Dr. Google is not always very helpful, but we did start to move through the process, and I can speak about that in a later video. I will link an article that I wrote about what a seizure feels like. I think that is a really helpful article to people who have never experienced that and would like to relate to people who have seizures a little bit more. So that was my experience with my first seizure. If you've ever had a seizure, go ahead and let me know about it in the comments below, or if you've ever had some kind of traumatic medical event and you want to share what you learned from it, how it felt, then I would love to hear about it. So that's the story of my first seizure and how it happened. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can check back on Mondays and Fridays and not miss any new content. Bye!